Right, so having created the arm, the next part we need to create is, I'm going to call it, for want of a better word, a stopper. It's the bit that goes above our hand that protects our hand from getting involved with the disc or sort of touching the pizza. So, new part, standard millimeters, create. And we're going to start a new sketch again, two-dimensional sketch on the XZ plane. And we're going to draw a line to start with from the middle. Notice that the centre's gone green there because I picked that centre. Doesn't really matter here, but let's just go for it anyway. It's good practice. So I'm going to type in 30 because I want that part to be 30. I'm going to pan away, and there's going to be some angles going on here. So I'm going to select the endpoint there. Notice that it's gone green, and I want to go away. And this dimension here needs to be at 50 degrees, and it wants to be 20 lengths. So 20, and then remember if I use the tab key, I can tab between these, and that wants to be 50, and I click return at 20 by 50. Same again here, another line here. Notice it go green, and I'm going to go down there. This needs to be 130 and needs to be 20, so 20-130 and return. And OK, so that's what it needs to look like. I'm going to go OK. So we need to use the offset tool. So I'm going to offset, select that, offset it by, and that needs to be 1.5 mil thick. So that's going to go in there. And I then need, just to complete that, let's zoom in a little bit. And use the line tool to go from, notice that's going green there to there, and escape. Then use the line tool again. Let's let that go green, green there, and OK. So that's my sketch. I don't think there's any points where it's going to sort of not connect. So I'm going to finish my sketch. I'm going to pan away, and we want to turn that into 3D solid now. So I'm going to extrude that. It's found that there, which is good. It looks like I want it to be, but it needs to be 12. So I'm going to change my extrusion to 12 mil and return. Now there's two or three more bits I need to do. They're quite straightforward, but what we need to do is we need to have a hole and aperture in there for the arm to pass through it. So this is where it can be quite powerful. So I want to just draw a sketch on here like we did on the disc for the hole in the middle. So I'm going to start a sketch, a 2D sketch on that face. So I'm going to draw a line on this face here, midpoint there to the midpoint there, and OK. Now our hole in there needs to be 1.5 mil across. So if I use the offset tool, I'll just offset a line. So 1.5, half of 1.5 is 0.75. So 0.75 either way, another 0.75 that way, 0.75 return. So I'm just starting to map out where I need it to be. If I draw another line, and if I draw a line from the midpoint there, so you notice it go green, or maybe not. Let's just have another look at that. Oh, I see, it's on the wrong line. So let's zoom in a little bit there, and I'm going to pan away. And OK, so I'm going to select those dimensions. It's gone white, and I'm going to delete that dimension and delete that one there. I'm also going to delete that centre line now because I don't need that, and I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint of the line there. So I'm going along. See, it's gone green. I know that is my midpoint, and that is my midpoint there. And OK. Excellent. Now, I know that the slot needs to be 9.2 mil wide, so I'm going to use my offset tool again, just to take that there to 4.6, 4.6 there, and another line 4.6 there. And I want to remove that bit there. That's good. I'm going to get myself out of offset, and I want to do a bit of trimming now. So I'm going to take that bit away, that bit away, that bit, that bit. Now I need to remove some of these dimensions. So I'm just highlighting them and deleting them, and highlight and delete that, and I'm going to finish my sketch. And I now need to extrude. I need to remove that piece there, so I need so that the arm can go through it. So I'm going to extrude. Again, it's selected to add material. I want to take away. So if I just click that arrow and just drag it the other way. I know the material is 1.5mm thick, so if I type in 1.5 and go, and that should be hollow, so just use the orbit tool, just have a look in there. See, I've got a nice hollow section there. Excellent. Now, what we also need to do is we need to round off these corners here. So whilst you've got the fillet tool in the sketch mode, we can also fillet in the three-dimensional mode. So I'm going to change my fillet there, and you can expand that to do all sorts of things, but I don't really need that, so I'm going to just set that back. I'm going to change my fillet radius here to 6. I know the width of it is 12, so if I go for 6, that will give us a perfect circle on each end, or semicircle. So I'm going to change that to 6, and if I just select that edge there, I'm going to do a bit of panning here, and so you notice that it's just highlighting what it's planning on doing if I commit to it, and I want to do that edge there, and I'm going to click the green tick to show that I want it. Now I then need to do this orbit around, pan to where I need it, and we need to do the same to the other bit here. So I'm going to fillet there, and I'm going to go fillet on that bit, and that bit there, and OK. And there we have it. Now, one thing that I suppose while we're here that we could have a quick look at, and it's again one of the powerful things of Inventor, it's sort of parametric. We can start to change things. So where you've got the fillets here, on our browser on the left hand side, it's showing all the features that we've got on there. And if we've made mistakes and we need to change things around, we can play around with our fillets. So if I just double left click on my fillet there, I can change that from, instead of being 6, I could change that to 4, for example. And if you look, it's just going to map out what we've done, and you can change things if we need to. I don't want to change, I'm going to keep it at 6. So I'm just going to click undo, and that is that part finished. So I'm quite pleased with that. So I'm going to OK that, file, save as, and we'll call that stopper, and save. Thank you very much, and I will see you for the next component.